non-aggression principle I never even heard of until about 10 years ago, give or take, maybe less than that. And the concept of self-ownership, the same. You know, I came across these terms later in life, but the basic principle, and like a lot of people listening to this may not have heard of the non-aggression principle or the self-ownership as in those particular terms, but when you describe what you're talking about, everyone's like, well, okay, yeah. It's not like it's a foreign concept, the idea that you should have right over yourself. And the thing is, I think the thing that really kind of made me realize that this is just where we all need to be focusing on, because this is truly identifying what is wrong with the world and also what we need to put right. Because if people just think about the morality that we already have and the laws that not all of the laws, but the basic laws that almost all of us already have, and the definitions of crime, things like rape, theft, murder, assault, if we actually step back and think, okay, why are these things crimes? You know, most of us understand that these things are crimes and agree that they should be considered crimes. But do we step back and think, okay, well, why is it a crime? What's the difference between rape and consensual sex? You know, the mechanics is the same, you know, basically, you know, but what's the difference? Well, the difference is that someone's not consenting to the act in the course of rape. Now, why does that matter? What difference does that make? The reason it matters is because you only have the right over yourself. So when you're having consensual sex with somebody else who has the right over themselves, there's no crime there. There's no violation there. But when you are violating somebody else's will, and obviously rape is a very extreme example, but obviously it helps get the message across when you use extreme examples. But the same, you know, even a lesser assault, like just punching someone in the face. Your face is your face. It's not my face. I don't have the right to put my hands on it unless you give me permission to, unless you have the right to. So it doesn't have to be something as extreme as rape or murder. It can be a lower level assault. It can be something as subtle as our governments who claim rule over us. They don't even touch us most of the time, but that veiled threat of violence is always there. That veiled unspoken claim of ownership over us, where they can tax us what they want, whether they can decide what we're allowed to put in our own bodies. And as people are realizing now, whether we're even allowed to live our lives as normal, because they can obviously lock us down under the pretense of a virus. So, you know, I suppose it's the realization that everything in this world that's wrong is all connected to the same problem. And it's the fact that we've allowed the very definition of law and crime to be manipulated and perverted to the point that it's now meaningless. And I think when we fix that, then we fix a lot of things automatically, and we lay the foundation for fixing a lot of things ahead of that. And the only way to fix that, in my opinion, and this is what we're going to hopefully welcome people to scrutinize this assertion, because I'm basically saying, look, the only way we fix that is to establish the non-aggression principle as the universal law through a universal peace agreement, so that no one's allowed to rule over anybody else. All voluntary, all collectives are voluntary, all interactions are voluntary, because that is how we define crime objectively. Sorry, man, I went on a bit there, but I just wanted to...
I love it, man. I think the audience is going to enjoy hearing that concept from you and kind of understanding more what the Nation of Sanity is about. And as we grow through this podcast, I'm sure the Nation of Sanity will come up many times where we dive in and let folks know what's going on, what's on your mind, what's ahead, what's to come. It's going to be plenty of things about the Nation of Sanity, which is dear to my heart. And look, I'm on board, brother. I'm a follower, you know, and I hope that folks take the time out to come join you, man, on your channel, on your website, on this podcast, man, and show some support, man.